What you need to do is make sure your take-up lever is in the highest position. And to make sure your take-up lever is in the highest position, you roll the wheel towards you. There's even an arrow on it. I don't know why. I noticed a lot of beginners, for some reason, naturally want to push it away from them, but it causes a lot of issues. They get jams a lot easier. I've seen some people find success. They did it and it didn't ruin everything, but it's not a high percentage. So if you just want to avoid any drama or trouble, just get used to rolling it towards you. Follow the arrow and everything will be happy. So keep rolling it towards you until your take-up lever is the highest position possible. Okay, so I'm rolling the take-up lever towards me, and that looks like that's the highest position. Great. Okay. So once it's in the highest position, take your thread and pull it underneath your presser foot towards the back and see what that feels like. Start training yourself. I'm gonna pull it like 5 inches there. You know, it feels a little tight. If yours feels really loose, maybe we didn't get it in the tension disc properly, or maybe your tension's really, really loose where this white thing looks like it's gonna fall off. Or if you're pulling it and you can't get it anywhere, maybe we wrapped it too many times around something, or it's just not threaded correctly. I don't know. But the more you pull this, the more familiar you'll become with what feels like good tension and bad tension. And before you even start sewing, you'll know if your machine's threaded correctly or not, so that we don't have to waste any time. So go ahead and practice that, but it should go through. I do want to note that if your take-up lever is down, I'm going to roll the wheel towards me to demonstrate that. See how my take-up lever's down? But my needle's up. Take-up lever's down. If I pull my thread, it's locked and it won't come through. So I have to really pull hard. And sometimes students do this and it breaks their thread, but this is not a good test. If you're going to test the thread tension, it's really important that the take-up lever is up high. Great. Another thing too, sometimes I see students pull the threads towards them. That's not really good either, because then it might bend the needle a little bit, and then your needle might eventually break when you're sewing. So it's always best to put the thread underneath the presser foot so the tension can rest against the presser foot and not your needle. Okay, so pull it behind, away from you. So please, 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 day one, just try to get in that habit for me. You'll notice my bobbin thread came up. I kind of wanted to talk about that real quick. Okay, I just took my bobbin thread out and I reset it and I put it back in. After your machine is threaded and you pulled your thread under your presser foot and pulled it towards the back and everything felt good, your take-up lever is in the highest position possible, you are ready to pull up your bobbin thread. This, to remind you, is a single needle machine. It's a lock stitch machine. So it has thread coming from the top of it and thread from the bottom, and every stitch makes a little lock. That's why they call it a lock stitch. Same as your home sewing machines. Okay, so I'm gonna hold my thread, just a little tension, just to kind of hold it kind of tight. And all I wanna do is I wanna take one stitch, and that one stitch will pull up a loop up, and I can pull up my bobbin thread through that. How to go wrong? Well, you could take 1.5 stitches, and that won't really work. You can do 2 stitches. That won't really work. You could do half a stitch. That won't really work either. So how do you do just 1 stitch? Okay, 1 stitch is when you roll the hand wheel towards you and you keep turning it, and the take-up lever starts in the top position, and the take-up lever does 1 full rotation. So the take-up lever goes down, and then as you keep turning the wheel, the take-up lever goes back. That's 1 stitch. So easy. What could go wrong? Sometimes what goes wrong is students look at the needle and they think, oh, well, 1 stitch must be when the needle goes down and comes back up. But that's actually only half a stitch. Let me demonstrate for you. Okay, I'm gonna turn the wheel towards me. My take-up lever is going down, my needle went down. Voila! My needle is up, but my take-up lever's down. So if I go to pull my thread right now, it's jammed and stuck. That's only half a stitch. That will not help me get my bobbin thread up. So what you need to do is to just keep turning that wheel until the take-up lever is all the way at the top. Sometimes people don't go to the top, they're just so excited to pull it, and it still kind of feels jammed. So you really just need to make sure this guy's at the top and your life will be easy street. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we just need to pull our thread. And voila, do you see a loop popped up? Sometimes it's really small. But anyways, we want to pull that loop. Oops, where'd he go? There it is. And eventually we find the end of the loop, and it's just 2 full threads, which is our bobbin thread that was underneath. Then again, we take both threads and we put it underneath the presser foot and we pull it towards the back. And now we're ready to put some fabric right in between them so that you'll be sewing on the bottom and the top side. And just a reminder, before you start sewing, you have your presser foot up to put your fabric in. You will always need to put the presser foot down before you start sewing. Don't forget that. I think a lot of beginners, it's so much to think about getting it threaded that they kind of forget that last step. And it's no fun because it can cause a lot of jams. So to get your presser foot up and down, we have a lever back here. Up and down. Or we even have this cool, where is it? Sorry guys, got a feature here that can lift